Okay, guys, welcome to the Manychat walkthrough for this course. So, like I said, just like the last video, I've already gone through and filmed this, so I'm just kind of going to talk over some of these part right here. So, talked about first is on this left side over here. So let's go into what those things are. So the dashboard is obviously like the main menu. It's like the biggest, like the normal. It's like where you look at all your shit, right? Audience. This thing won't actually populate until you actually start getting some subscribers and people going through. And we're gonna go down the list here. So if you see on the right over here, look at these. These are the different ways that you can actually get your subscribers, right? So I kind of talked about before in our high level video about the different ways that people can kind of enter the bot, right? So there's the website, there's the chat plugin, landing pages, pop-ups, all that kind of stuff, right? And so on this right side over here, you actually can. It's actually going to tell you and show you where that came from, where those people came from. As far as when it comes to your bot. So that's actually really valuable information. Something that you don't have in Chatfield actually. Not exactly like this. It's kind of organized more on the right side. Chatfield, you have to go in and look at a little more in depth. Let's see. Yes. So yeah. So even right here, you can at the top. So you can set your filter to say, okay, like you opted in through the example landing page as you see right here, or opted in through whatever the case may be, right? Let's see here. Okay, still continuing. Yep, so I'm kind of showing you guys the basic sequences here, kind of where they can come from. So, yeah, so now let's hit this live chat button. Now, the live chat button is basically, it's called the same thing in Chatfuel, but the live chat feature is basically when you tell the admin of the page that, hey, somebody's talking to you right now. So you basically allow that human to take over. Which is pretty cool. So I've actually used this feature a lot when it comes to my my particular client with the swim school. You guys remember Trish from one of the other videos, and basically with her, she needs to be notified that somebody is messaging the bot or something like that. So you can do that one of two different ways. You can do it by setting an email to where it sends out the email automatically when somebody finishes the flow, or you can do it this way by setting up a live chat feature. So and it kind of notifies her to take over real time, right? So obviously the use cases for that's a little different. You would use the live chat if you know that they're going to be responsive, but in Trish's case, she may not want to use it all the time because, for example, she might be busy with doing her work or that kind of stuff, right? So going to the growth tools here of Manychat, the growth tools are pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie. So they have the example bar, example pop-up, example landing page, and basically, the only thing you really need to know about these particular things is that these are different ways that people can enter your bot, right? So here, you can actually shows the use of the overlay widget. So you have different ways you can add things to pages, right? So you can do the bar, the slide in, the modal, the page takeover, all that stuff. And this is kind of more organized than Chatfuel. On the Manychat side, it actually kind of gives you like a good menu to look at this stuff. So I would totally recommend using this. And like I said before, I use Chatfuel, so I'm kind of just doing a walkthrough of what exactly is here. But as you can see, there's a button, embeddable widgets, there's little boxes you can embed, and then these little things down here, the other growth tools, landing pages, ref URLs, Facebook ads, Facebook comments, messenger codes, and a customer chat and checkbox. So remember, these are all the different ways that you can just kind of enter the bot flow, right? So in a Manychat, they call that growth tools. So that just kind of gives you a good breakdown of what exactly that purpose of that's for, right? Continuing here, I'm just watching this video. Yep, kind of thumbing through here. So yeah, actually, if you hover over each one of these things, it actually tells you exactly what it is, which is pretty interesting. That's not what happens in Chatfuel. Chatfuel, you got to kind of know. And Google a bunch of stuff or go in the Facebook group, right? And that's a good point to make out too, is that there are Facebook groups for this kind of stuff. Obviously, you can join my Facebook group, Leads Closing Sales, or you can join the public Facebook group. So there's a Manychat one, and there's also a Chatfuel one. So let's talk about this tab for just a second too. There's broadcasting, right? So this broadcasting tab is basically how you talk to all of your subscribers at one time. Think of that as a broadcast. Just like you do an email broadcast where you send out to all your subscribers, this is the exact same thing, but do it in bot form, right? So this is basically this is like the selling point of bots. It's like being able to message people directly through the platform, right? So as you build subscribers, you're going to want to use the broadcasting feature that way to kind of reach those people and get obviously start conversations, but then get conversions, right? Make some money. So I'm gonna break down this next part, and so this is really a pretty interesting thing to talk about, and it's all in the automation tab. And you know, if you guys remember my last video on chat field, it's not exactly like this. Okay, but this is like the main menu, right? So if you go play just a little more, you know, basically when someone pulls up this chat bot, if you see on the right here, there's menu items that pop up, right? And actually, you can do 2 menu items whenever they're free. Oh, whenever there's 3. But anyway, the point is that there's menu items, and these menu items are basically preset buttons that people see right when they pull up your chatbot, right? And there's a couple different ways you can use them. And the way that I've used them and the way that I've been successful so far is basically I put a lead magnet in the first button, or like some kind of headline or something in the lead magnet, and then the second is always some kind of scheduling feature, or either location, or getting some information to them so that they can get to that location, to that business, right? So that could be anywhere from either scheduling appointments or all the way down to just, hey, here's the location of the business, or hey, let me look at the menu, right? Something like that. Yes, and then we're going to go to default reply. So this step right here is actually really important. And basically what this does, or what this is anytime somebody messages your page but it's not recognized by the AI in the background. So for example, you can go in and set like auto responses to, like, if somebody says hi, you could be like, okay, well, hello, and you can basically set up keywords like that, right? This is what happens. This is the reply that happens if none of those keywords are set off in the bot, and the basically the user sends a message that just goes straight to the bot, right? It's going to send them this default reply because it didn't register with any of the rules that you set before, right? So pretty interesting to see this right here. Actually, you on your default, actually Manychat is pretty good about this. You can actually see your click-through rates and that kind of stuff right on the menu, which is pretty useful. Let's see. Default apply. Welcome message. Okay, so this is what we were talking about before, the welcome message. So welcome message is when somebody just randomly comes across your page, or not randomly, but you're driving traffic, but basically somebody organically hits your page and hits send message without you actually them coming from another form. So they didn't come from the website, they didn't come from any of that. They actually just came from your straight Facebook page. Yes, and so right here you can actually see all the different stuff that you can put in there. So you have, you know, text, you have images, you have cards, galleries, lists, audio, video files, delay, user input, dynamic, all that stuff, right? And actually, remember in the last video in Chat Fuel, I actually broke this down for you, what that looks like in Chat Fuel. So here's what it looks like here in Manychat, as you can see. And I've recommended this before, but you know, basically Manychat's such a user-friendly platform that I totally recommend it for anybody that's just starting, anything like that. Let's see. Yes, so all the different things, right? So we have text, images, cards, galleries, lists, audios, videos, files, delays, user input, all those different things that you can add in this in the flow in this particular box, right? And so this is your welcome message, like I said before, and so make sure that this is something that you remember. Okay, like this is coming from a Facebook message that came to the page, but did not come through any of the other ways. They came through the get started on the send message button, which is really important. Just like I talked about a second ago, there's keywords, right? So like you see right here, the defaults are start and stop. So if somebody says start, you subscribe them. Say stop, and so basically you'd enter your keyword, right? And then you're going to set a custom reply. So as you can see over here, I set a keyword, and then I set it in reply. You could set. So just basically reiterating the point right here that you set specific replies for specific keywords. So like, for example, if you were to have like a post on Facebook that said, hey, comment I'm interested if you want in, right? So they would comment I'm interested on the post, and then the bot would come pick them up. It would be triggered by that keyword, right? So that's kind of the basic concept. So sequences are really, really interesting. So when you set up sequences, it's just like email sequences, right? So you can set it all the way down to 1 minute later, all the way down to 1 day later, right? So I'm really not going to go over sequences too much with you. All I'm going to say is that basically, you know, you use this just like you use emails. So the exact same strategy that you're going to use in email marketing, you're going to use here too. So for example, like, right off the bat, you might want to indoctrinate them, right? You're going to indoctrinate them by telling them, hey, who you are, what your business does, what's the main benefit, and how they can help them, right? And then not sell them anything. The next one, you're going to educate them again. The next one, educate again, and then start soft selling, maybe a message back, some stuff like that, right? So thinking about using that exact same flow and concept that you would use from email marketing, you're going to use that exact same thing here with bot marketing, basically, right? Yes. Okay. Now we're going to start going over the flow builder. And so if you see right here, flows, and on this left side on the tab over here, it's basically pre-done stuff. That's the easiest thing for me to explain to you. So a flow is just basically one sales process that they send us. So you can have multiple flows. You obviously have the main flow like we talked about in the first video. And then you have the lead gen flows, right? So each one of those different flows would be something else that you named in this little area right here, right? Which is pretty cool. So we're about to get into really one of the main benefits of Manychat, and why I think it's such a user-friendly platform, why I think that people should be using it, especially if it's your first time doing bot stuff, right? And we're going to show the flow builder right here. Boom. Now, this makes it very, very easy and visual for you to actually build stuff, which I think is very, very valuable, especially for us as marketers. Sometimes, we learn different ways. So, obviously being able to see the different things actually mapped out, like kind of like whiteboard style, is actually pretty cool. So I'm just going to go through a couple things here. So for example, if your flow is like, I'm going to first send them this message, and then based on if they reply to that message, yes or no, then I want to send the next message, and kind of so on and so forth, right? So as you can see, as I'm kind of putting all these different things in here, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do with Manychat. So look, if you see, you have send message, you have perform actions, start another flow, condition, randomizer, smart delay, and comment, right? So send message is just that normal thing, right? It's just a normal message. Perform action, it has to do with Zapier, which we're going to go over in another video with some third-party stuff. You also have start another flow. So you can actually enter people from another flow based on what response they hit, right? You can set conditions. So like before I said, we have tagging and segmenting. That's what it would be right here. You even have a randomizer. So for example, let's say you were creating a quiz bot and you wanted to randomize the questions and answers, then you could set a randomizer right here that would basically ask them all those different questions in random order, right? You also have smart delay, and smart delay is basically like saying, okay, like I will delay a certain amount of time based on the conversation, right? So it might be like, if they hit this flow, I'm going to wait 30 seconds, but if they hit this flow, I'm going to wait 45 seconds to message back, right? Something like that, which is pretty useful from obviously from a marketing standpoint, us using that thing. And so really what I'm kind of mapping out right here for you is just what could happen, what your bot flow could look like. It's really, really limitless in the sense of saying, hey, like, is there a cookie cutter way to do this? Not really. It's really up to your creativity and what you really plan. So obviously, at the beginning, I would always recommend saying, hey, do really simple stuff. And that's actually, funny enough, a lot of the client work and some of the stuff I'm going to show you in the next couple videos is really, really simple stuff. Like we're talking like just automating one thing or automating one part of their business, right? And so obviously, as you get better, you're going to be able to go in and do more functions, add more functionality, that kind of stuff, right? Which is why we kind of talked about those revenue percentages and stuff before, because you got to remember, it's for bots in particular, it's not if, but when. And so for them, if you can get in early and you can set a low enough retainer, or you set a retainer that's comparable, that you can make money off of, but then that way you can kind of dig in and get revenue shares of their business, that's going to be really, really, really powerful for you as far as scaling your bot business or scaling whenever you do bot services, because holy crap, like, the industry's so young. So like whenever you're allowed to enter the industry at an okay rate, but then with revenue percentage on the back end, that if you're playing the long game, that you're going to win, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about right here is this, is just kind of some cleanup stuff, right? So they have this greeting text. It's just basically when people are going to message your page for the first time, they have to see some kind of description about you, right? So that's what this is. There's basically the URL card shortener, that's just link shortening, right? Clone to another page, you can clone this bot. So we talked about how we can scale before, and that's basically how you do it. Is once you've created a really, really good one, you could hit just clone this bot and do whatever, right? Sometimes when your bot is bugging, you're going to have to refresh those Facebook permissions, which is what that is right here. And then the bottom right there is the keyboard input, and the keyboard input is really is pretty unique in the sense of so you can actually make your bot not responsive to words. You can just turn off your keyboard input, and then that would basically say, hey, I only want you to push the buttons on the bot. But that's really much the basics and overview of Manychat, how to use it, that kind of stuff. So guys, I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.